Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Olympic Women's Sevens. This one, a semi-final between New Zealand and the USA. Now, both of the contests that are taking place are going to be that trans-Tasman side of things when it comes to New Zealand and Australia taking on North America for these matches. 34 degrees Celsius is the condition that they're going to be playing in. It's certainly going to be a hot one, and the action will be definitely worthwhile watching as well. But looking through at the New Zealand starting lineup, it will be Risi Pori Lane, Georgia Miller, Stacey Waka, Sira Hirini, also Michaela Blyde, Jasmine Felix Hotham, and then Teresa Stefano, the last lady in the starting side. For the USA, it will be Alona Maha, Kayla Kennett, Sammy Sullivan, Alev Kelter, Naya Tapper, who is the captain of the USA, Raviti, and then also Christy Kershey in the starting side for the US. But to get to this point, the USA, they did have to get themselves a win over Great Britain, which they were able to do. New Zealand putting 50 points on their opposition, the People's Republic of China. That was not a very close game at all. And this game, there are some anticipating a bit of a comfortable win for New Zealand. The winner of this contest will face the winner of Australia taking on Canada. Hamish has joined us, says JYD. We certainly have. Hi, Dad, says Pads Blaze. Welcome in. Let's go, Black Ferns, says Karai Tiana in the chat. And hey, all New Zealand will be taking this, says Aniki there as well. And also for anyone wondering when the final will be taking place, it is starting at 5:45 a.m. New Zealand time, just so that you know how many hours till that final does take place. But looking through at the US, they have only lost one game. That was to France in Pool C, losing at 31 points to 14, whereas every other game they have had relatively comfortable wins, the closest of which was that quarterfinal, only winning by 10 up against Great Britain. Whereas for New Zealand, they have done extremely well throughout their games. They haven't really had too many close contests. There's been one-sided affairs pretty much the whole way through for the Kiwis, but there is always a chance that this type of game, this type of atmosphere as well, might add a little bit more tension and a little bit more pressure on for the Kiwis, although they are normally pretty good at handling that pressure after the Sevens circuit this season. But off the bench, they will have Portia Woodman-Whitcliffe. Also off the bench, they have got the option of Tyler King. There's some great options there for the New Zealanders. Good afternoon, says Flesh, and welcome in, mate. Hope you are keeping well. Hope you're excited for the Sevens action. US had a steamroller of a player, says JYD. Yeah, I mean, they've got a very strong side, the US, and people cannot underestimate what this USA team can do, definitely when they're in form. And all it takes is 14 good minutes of rugby, and you walk away with a spot in the final. No matter what, these two sides, I think, have a relatively decent shot of getting themselves some form of medal throughout this Olympics competition. Just seen a guy get arrested outside my house, thinking he had some green stuff in his car. Says Blue here. We have there. Good afternoon, says Grant. Welcome in, mate. Hope you are keeping well. I actually got a shirt, Grant, that I'm sure you would be extremely fond of. That will sound weird, but I might send you a picture on the Discord later so that you know roughly what I'm talking about. But yeah, it arrived in the mail today, and I thought straight away as soon as I saw it, I was like, Grant would bloody love this. But now the two sides charging out onto the field now, ready to go for the semi-final. It is the first of two. Like I mentioned, Australia taking on the Canadians. That will be taking place in around 30 minutes' time. And good man, Hamish, says Grant in there as well. So just mentioning the odds, USA to win this game are $15 underdogs, ladies and gentlemen. 15. That is much more than I guess many people would anticipate, but that just shows you how strong this New Zealand side has been throughout the last little while. Canada, they are $10 underdogs up against the Australians. So two games that aren't expected to be that close, but certainly could be if both sides are firing. It sounds dodgy, says Fleshin. It is not as dodgy as it sounds, Fleshin, I will say. In fact, what I might do is I might get it, and I might show you it on that South Africa versus Fiji stream. That might be the easier way of doing it, rather than trying to take a picture of a shirt that I'm not actually going to be putting on because I have to wash it first. Which sounds a bit more dodgy, to be honest, but the referees in charge of this one will be Craig Chan, the head referee, Tyler Miller, the Australian, who is the New Zealand version of Matty Levi then, says, Joseph, depends on how you look at it. Because you could say that, in terms of tries being scored, Michaela Blyde falls into that category. But when you look at the two of them side by side, there is a clear difference in terms of the size and the stature of both of those players. If you're looking for the biggest player for New Zealand, you'd probably say Seta Hirini, but she is not in any way similar to Madison Levi. So they've got their own unique style. Portia Woodman-Whitcliffe, she is extremely strong when she makes her way off the bench for the Kiwis. It is going to be the USA now getting ready to kick this one off for the first of two semi-finals that will be taking place. But Kelter kicks it off and nicely taken by Seta Hirini. It's tackled low by Christy Kershey. New Zealand in position just outside of their 22. Hello, says LFG. Hamish is going to wear a Stormers shirt, says Grant. Nice running forward. Georgia Miller, look for the offload. That's going to be forward from New Zealand. I think it's been slapped backwards. It looks like now New Zealand are going to have themselves the line out. A little bit shaky off the get-go. Yeah, Canada actually decides to boot the ball, which is why that advantage was over. Thanks, you're going to need them, says Joseph. And there as well. But yeah, anytime New Zealand and Australia have played off, it's always fireworks throughout those 14 minutes. And hopefully, if those two sides make it through to the final, it will be no different. But nicely cleaned up by Christy Kershey. USA now in position. Sammy Sullivan will play halfback. Goes off to the left-hand side for the US. Rush defence there from Felix Hotham. Manages to make the tackle on Alona Ma. And when is South Africa Sevens playing? They are playing in 1 hour's time, and we will be covering their game on the channel. They are taking on the Fijians. That will be for 11th place, but USA now running sideways. Attack and run from Kelter. She's going to be tackled again. And let's go Wahine Mai, says Harry there, and the penalty goes the way of the USA. Georgia Miller conceding the penalty there. Just getting it slightly wrong. Looks like she might have got a bit of a poke in the eye as well with the way that she is blinking at the moment. Yeah, I'm not sure whether or not there was a thumb, something that connected. Might have just been the way that she fell in the tackle. New Zealand not starting well at all. The pressure getting to Georgia Miller a bit. Says Raisin. Hello, Kiwi peeps. America for the loss. Hi, Hamish. Says Dr. Welcome in. Nice to see you in a crusty Kiwi hoodie, Hamish. Says Martin Smith. A crusty Kiwi hoodie. You can't even see the black down the bottom, can you? I thought you were talking about the colours, to be honest, but not quite. Now going out wide, here comes Tapper. It's going to be 25 metres out from the line. Alona Ma goes back across to the right-hand side. This is a great chance for the USA. They have got numbers here. Kelter cutting back on the inside. She's got through one, and she will score the first try of the contest for the USA, but I think she's injured herself in the process of scoring. I think maybe the hamstring or the groin or the quad, something in that leg has given way. Miller having a shocker crikey, says Razor there. But Kelter, definitely one of those players for the Americans that will just go barnstorm and run after barnstorm and run if she can. Fends off Georgia Miller and sits her down. Nice try, says Eldon. And there as well. Yeah, just the way that she scored the try, it looked like she may have tweaked something in her leg. That one has missed away to the side. The USA now come in still as underdogs, but only $6 underdogs in this game up against New Zealand now. Great start to the match for them. Now, 3.5 minutes gone in this first half. Her second try, Kelter, for this Olympic Games. The winner of this game faces the winner of Australia versus Canada. That game is just around the corner. Risipori Lane going back across to the left-hand side. Rough pass from Teresa Setefano. Now Michaela Blythe putting in 2 fends. She's running sideways at the moment. She is such a dangerous ball runner. Look for the offload. Alona Maha trying to stop her from getting that offload. And maybe I'm the real imposter. How does New Zealand not have any medals yet, says Doctor? Yeah, they haven't quite got the medal that they've been after. Normally they don't go too badly in the early stages. That ball's bounced out the back for Seta Hirini. There is going to be the advantage in favour of New Zealand here. Now Miller going back across to the left-hand side. Teresa Setefano. They will go back for the original penalty. Like they've just said, New Zealand a little bit tentative in the way that they have started this game. They haven't been able to find that open area where they normally score so many of their tries throughout their other games. Georgia Miller now receives the wide cutout pass. Going one more to Jasmine. Felix Hotham trying to get around Tapper. It seems like the speed advantage at times throughout this game has gone the way of the USA. Bruh, how are we losing? USA getting that early try of Kelter. Now on the halfway line, though, Stacey Waka goes straight through. Big smile on her face. And she will score it between the posts. Now New Zealand back on the board. She's going to get booed again. She's been booed a little bit throughout the weekend when she does wait a little bit longer to put that ball down. Stacey Waka, you good thing. Says Razor Robertson in there as well. And just like that, the USA drop into a massive underdog now in this matchup. Good, says Fads Ablaze. I would never say that, says Martin Smith. Hey, yeah, it could be our worst game ever. Or worst games ever, says Doctor. Although there are quite a few important events coming up now in New Zealand with the finals of the rowing and whatnot. I think they've got themselves through to some important races. I was at a broken record. Is that why she smiled? Says Alden there. I mean, I think she was just happy that New Zealand finally broke the line. Hasn't been long, or hasn't been often throughout this Olympics competition that New Zealand haven't been able to score within the first few minutes of one of their games. And Smiler says JYD, nice, says Niv B. Going to be knocked on this time from Stacey Waka. Cleaned up well by the USA. And they will go back for the original scrum feed now in favour of the US. I think 1 minute remaining in this first half. Oh, yeah, true. And Wake always smiles. Waka always smiles. I think that is from Paul Stewart. 50 seconds left now. Anytime we have a scrum in this contest, it will take some time out of the game, which I think for these two sides, definitely in the 34-degree heat, will not be a bad thing. They're currently in the shade, so I don't think they'll want to move away from that area for as long as they can. Drop ball from Alona Ma. Now New Zealand, they will just allow this one to go back for the scrum. Looked like there might have been a bit of an injury for Teresa Stefano. She's clutching. Oh, she might have just kind of crushed her fingers into her teammate. Unfortunately, awful half so far. There was a heat warning in Paris. What's the worm body count, Hamish? 29 worms dead from Boot Spriggs. Sad day for worm kind, says Martin Smith. You know, I think some of this turf is almost a little bit artificial, so I don't think there'll be too many worms in there overall. But, yeah, the turf's been brutal. We've probably had, honestly, about 29 injuries throughout these Olympic competitions. We're going to see it there. Unfortunately, just in the process of making the tackle, she just kind of snapped her fingers and her wrist backwards. She is going to be going off the field now. She's shaking her fingers, which is good news, but just a stinger at the moment. Tyler King will make her way onto the field to replace her. Hate seeing injuries, especially at this stage of the tournament, says Eldon. Now another step, Felix Hotham. Going off to Risi Pori Lane, getting driven backwards by the USA defence. Currently only 2 points difference between these two sides. Hello from Ireland, Padraig O'Brien here. How are you doing, lads? I hope Border Security Australia do a two-part of twins. Says Padraig, nice ball on the inside to Michaela Blyde. Now Pori Lane again will play halfback. Going to the right-hand side, here comes Georgia Miller. She hasn't had the best game so far. Steps through one. Slapped on by Sita Hirni, who received the offload. Now Stacey Waka for the corner. That was very close. Kershey may have just got that foot down. Touch judge thinks it out. But they will have to check this one. We've just hit the 30s. Just down the road from Paris, says Fleshin. Yeah, I did see before they had the temperature gauge and it was 34 degrees. Yep, that foot is on the touchline. No try for New Zealand here. And she was out, I think, says Razor Robinson. So that is halftime in this contest, ladies and gentlemen. And currently the score's sitting 7 points to 5. New Zealand, they're going to need a big second half here because they cannot afford to let the USA stay close as we head towards the end of this contest. I assume Stacey Waka was the nickname of Boat, or has the nickname of Boat, says Martin Smith. And also fairly midday in the desert today, only 37 degrees, says Grant. So lots of nice tries from her these past few days. And USA 7 says Joshua Miller in the chat. Our second half, only about a minute away from starting, ladies and gentlemen. The next game that is taking place, it is going to be the contest between Australia and Canada. The winner of that game will face the winner of this matchup. The losers, they will play off for bronze. So we could see a Northern Hemisphere bronze medal final, theoretically, based off the underdogs Could see it being Canada versus USA battle in North America, whereas it could be a trans-Tasman rivalry that continues to elevate as they make their way to the Olympic final. What temperature for you, Hammy? At the moment, we're sitting 4 degrees Celsius, so actually not too bad with the weather that we've had today. We will take 4 degrees every day of the week and twice on a Wednesday. USA showing up on D for sure. Hunting impacts and shutting down the space in New Zealand and not liking it one bit. Says Razor, USA, 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 says Martin. And Kiwi should shout NZL, NZL. It's a bit of a tongue twister, I would say. What do they shout at the games? I guess they do like the Let's Go Black Ferns, Let's Go, or something like that. I feel like I've heard before. Currently they are playing a bit of Bon Jovi halfway there. Living on a Prayer, of course, by John Bon Jovi. We have there USA. Says an athlete there, and it's 10 degrees here, says Pedza. Oh, summer, by the sounds of that. Now New Zealand, they will be kicking this one off so close at the moment between these two teams. Second half just about to get underway. Our chants are lame, says Martin Smith. And there as well, but it is going to be kicked off short. Looking to get it just the 10 metres. Stacey Waka actually playing the USA player in the air. She was on her way down. English have the same chance, says Martin Smith. Now, USA, going to be a good early tackle made by Jasmine Felix Otham, Tyler King, trying to get into that breakdown. Here comes a big run here from Tapper. Tackled by Michaela Blyde. New Zealand looking for that turnover, but they weren't quite able to do so. Big shot from Blyde there, driving USA backwards. For the New Zealanders, the benefit that they've got is they've got 90 metres to play with here. They'll be trying their absolute best to catch up with the US if they do manage to get themselves the line break. But now they're only 2 minutes out from their try line. New Zealand with Georgia Miller, who wins the penalty, rips it off Sammy Sullivan. Hirri takes it quickly, passes off to the right-hand side, and Stacey Waka again will get the try for her first time in this game, but her 5th time, I believe, throughout this Olympics competition. She has got the double. In fact, it is the double now. She could have had 3 if it wasn't for that ball going out. Georgia Miller trying to rip the ball off Sammy Sullivan to say we want to keep this one rolling forward. And Waka again says Eldon there. USA hopeless, says Annoy. What's up with all the hate comments? A lot of them are having more social media followers than any other rugby player. People have been so nasty, it's crazy. Says Razor, I haven't seen anything about it, to be honest. But that one has missed away to the left-hand side. Grounding for New Zealand, and there we go, Miller. That's what we are looking for, says Razor. And hot dogs are as American as apple pie, says Martin. The score at the moment, 12 points to 5 here, ladies and gentlemen. The USA, I've just checked there, $31 underdogs to go on to win this game. So they aren't being given much of a shot in this contest. That's going to be knocked on by Stacey Waka. And we'll go back for the USA scrum. Come on, girls, says Harry. And also, we have got the USA hopeless. And Waka again, says Eldon. Now, 4 minutes 30 remaining, 31, that's a good price. Says, and I definitely when they're only down by 7. Like, I'm not a betting man myself. I look at the odds just to see how they see these games shaping out. But for them to be that much of an underdog with 4 minutes to go, like Sevens is a frantic game. Squidge has gotten a lot of stick on Twitter, on X, or whatever it's called, for his opinion on DuPont. Says, Geza, what's his opinion on DuPont? Geza, out of curiosity. We have got their Blight is fantastic. What a step in previous match. And full on in defence, says PS. Yeah, she will just throw herself at the line any opportunity she gets, and whether that is the try line or whether that is throwing herself at the attacking line. He's the best ever, says Geza. So who are they arguing that he's, like, who's better than him? I guess they're saying, like, the old school guys, I assume. I don't think it can be debated, really, in terms of current rugby players, in terms of backs anyway, who would be stronger than DuPont. Yeah, I've seen a lot of Squidge hate as well. I really don't watch Squidge, though. And Kia Kaha, New Zealand Black Ferns play safe and play well, showing their skills with I'm not sure what that word is, to be honest. They need a playmaker, USA. Yeah, the old school guy, says Geza. And congrats, Jamish, on 50k subs. You've grown heaps since last year. Says Martin Smith. Yeah, it is greatly appreciated. All of the support, of course, that we have had throughout the last couple months on the channel. We didn't expect to have 50 as soon as we did. Michaela Blyde, she's going to score the try. New Zealand won't reach 50 in this game, but they'll certainly be a little bit closer to it now that she has managed to score the third, and they are now extending that lead. New Zealand just getting it out wide. Michaela Blyde with the fend. A first receiver just crabs sideways like Kurtley Beale. Says Hanoi. And probably maybe certainly possible. Says Martin. Michaela Blyde just get around the outside of the tackle attempt, I should say, of Doyle. At the moment, I don't want to jinx anything, and I don't want to say too soon, but I do think that at this stage, it's almost safe to say that New Zealand are going to go through to that next stage. Just a little bit. You know, with the amount of time remaining, it could all change. We could see golden point time. If USA can get themselves 2 converted tries, that's better New Zealand. Says John. To Blyde injure her eye. She's got that dressing on her eyebrow. So I believe it was the forehead, I think. She did get a cut earlier on in the competition, but she said that it's just another scar on her face. Oh, USA, what have they done there? The ball was bouncing awkwardly. Hamish, your jinx never work, don't worry. Says Martin Smith. Right, if this is in the field of play and then it's gone back. Okay, so the ball has bounced, right, inside of the field of play, then into the in-goal area, then it's come back into the field of play, and then the USA have forced it back into the in-goal area. So this is going to be a 5-metre scrum now for New Zealand in a massive position on the field. The word is panache. Yeah, I was nowhere near the pronunciation, was I? I don't even think I attempted it in the end. And taking back penalty, says Razor. And we have got there, these are anti-Marxist plays right here. Says Razor, that's an awkward landing for New Zealand's number 9. Hirini goes across to Georgia Miller. Offloads it back to Tyler King. She will throw herself at the line. Here comes Miller again. Tackled by Sammy Sullivan as well as Alona Ma. Back to the right-hand side. I think the frustration is starting to kick in for the USA as they realise they are limited in the amount of time that they have got remaining. King goes across to Georgia Miller. Rush defence from Sullivan again. Now across to the right-hand side here. Michaela Blyde going to hit a knee. Another offload picked up by Michaela Blyde. Fending again on Tapper, and that will be another try for Michaela Blyde. Cullen was great at sevens. If you ask me, a knockout comp as a bit of a lottery. Here's a Martin Smith. And we have got there the big Corey Jane fend. And Sweet As Girls Kiwi says Warmy there. So yeah, New Zealand's final, if they do make it, which they should at this stage, that will be happening at 5:45 a.m. New Zealand time, ladies and gentlemen. The USA, they will be playing off with the loser of Canada versus Australia, and that game will be taking place at 5 a.m. New Zealand time. As AB's career was cut short at age 28. What a handoff, sit down. Says Geza, and someone said to Squidge that DuPont was a watered-down version of Cobus Reinach. Interesting comment. I could probably guess what country they are from. Are they called Michaela the Kitchen? Because she is serving Fens breakfast, lunch, and dinner, says Razor Robertson there. New Zealand implementing communist rule over America. Says Doctor, but 24 points to 5 now. Even though this game was extremely close at half-time, it is not the case at this stage of the contest. And let's go Black Ferns, let's go, says Harry there. And we're going to get a medal, let's go, says Pads of Blaze. Yep, guaranteed medal for New Zealand. USA, they are yet to confirm if they are going to get themselves a medal or not. They will have to go into that bronze final and beat whoever is in front of them. Doink, says Gus. Nice step coming there for the USA. 10 metres out from their line. The full-time siren is just about sounding. The penalty does go the way of the US. Here comes Sammy Sullivan. Just hasn't really run the ball enough, I don't think, throughout this game. Tapper now. Stepping back inwards. Gets the pass on the outside. USA, they still want one more. Ramsey slipping over. One of his compatriots showed it to me. Says a Fleshin. And a Le Black. Says a JYD. I saw that Xbox store has closed, so RIP. Has it? That's going to be a try now for the USA. And that is now going to make it 24 points to, I would say it will be 24-12 at the end of this one. Xbox 360. Okay, that's a little bit less concerning then. I thought you were talking about Xbox One, and I was thinking, geez, that's not good. Some warning would have been nice. Which player has the most score this Olympics so far? I think Madison Levi is leading the charge with about 10 tries from her 4 matches so far. So she has certainly been doing well. Madison Levi, she will be playing in the next game up against the Canadians. Nice job, USA. Says Razor, and good way to finish. A decent semi-final. There's Geza. Yeah, I mean, it did look like it was going to be a bit more one-sided a bit more close at halftime. Ended up being a little bit more in New Zealand's favour, but still a very decent effort coming from the USA. But nonetheless, thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. In the next game we are starting in 9 minutes' time. That will be Australia taking on the Canadians to work out who will be facing off in the final. But thank you all very much for being here, and I will see you all for the next one.